Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? All right, so for my last video of the day, I just want to talk about why esports is dead and basically how it was ruined. So, if you've been following my channel and you've been watched any of my previous videos, you know I come from that Xbox 360 era. I come from the MLG days. And I kind of already explained how everybody was like on an even playing field. The market wasn't oversaturated. There wasn't 30 FPS games. There was just like Halo, Gears of War, and maybe Counter Strike. But for the console players, we just had like Halo and Gears of War. And basically, what happened, MLG, and the reason that I believe it's dead is just because like I grew up with it. I was a huge fan of it. I engaged with it all the way into my 30s. So I was still paying attention. And now it's gotten to a point where I just don't care about it because let's say the next era has come in. Most of the people my age have already begun to retire. All the Halo pros, all the Call of Duty pros, most of them are retiring. And now we have the new young guns. And so, but the problem is that because they went to this franchise mode, and I wasn't able to go to the events. I wasn't able to shake these people's hands. I wasn't able to play against these players. So it's like they almost imported like talent. You might as well have imported talent from like China because that's how the relationship feels. I wasn't able to engage with the up and comers because of this franchise model. The thing is MLG, what they did was it basically felt like a grassroots like movement, grassroots tournament, where everybody would basically bring their own equipment, and because everybody was in basically the same crap hole, it just felt like we were bonded together. The problem now is everything just feels so like superficial. Production has gone so crazy. Like the pros, I almost feel like it's almost like they're the elite and we're just basically the peasants, the peons. The open bracket, the last Halo tournament I went to was a few years ago, and I just went for fun. But they treated the open bracket like we were peasants. And I actually don't mind that, we had consoles and everything, but they like ran us through there. They wouldn't let us like free play on the stations. It's like they wanted to take our money and kick us out of there as fast as possible. The pros are established. They don't care about you peasants, the up and comers. And so I was just turned off. Like I said, back in the day, you if you went to a tournament, you'd pay like $60 for the weekend. And obviously everybody spent a lot of money buying accessories and things. But you paid $60 for the weekend. Obviously you'd book you'd share a hotel room with everybody and you just have the time of your lives. You could go play on the stations, before the tournament started. You could do free play, you could play other players, and just have a heck of a time. Now, literally, they wouldn't even let us play on the stations. They're just like, no, you can't play on these until the tournament begins. So basically, you just have 100 consoles just not being used. We just had to literally sit there. As soon as the bracket started, they called us over there, and like I said, I was just there for fun, just because I wanted to participate. We went 0-2. No big deal. I didn't care. And like I said, I was just there for the experience, but that experience was just horrible. Even when they wanted to run like a Halo 3 throwback tournament at that event, they limited it to the signups to like 25 teams. And I just felt like if you were going to, run an old school tournament, why would you have signups in person? Why would you not let us pre-register? It was just ran like crap. And like I said, I don't feel like those people that were running that tournament cared. They only wanted us to give the money, get what little money they could extract from us, and like push us on our way. And then everybody's focus went back to the pros. And I'm just telling you, back in the MLG days, it just didn't feel that way. I felt like the MLG, and like I said, let's just get to why it got ruined. So I think what happened, MLG had a little grassroots tournament and this was all, crowdfunded. It was the community made decisions. Well, the publishers, they basically said, hey, that's our video game. Why don't we just run our own league? The problem with that is that it just doesn't feel organic, because immediately they went to this franchise mode where they basically just said, we tell you guys what teams are allowed in here. Franchise fees. I'm like, it's just disgusting. It's just horrible. And the reason why I've shifted away from the FPS games and I went more to the FGC, even though the FGC is running through their own problems, but the FGC still has, okay, maybe not after this year. Maybe this is year 2026, but previously, before this year, before everything was bought up, it still had that grassroots, organic, bring your own console, everybody's got a shot. And I just love that about tournaments. But you can't just make me care. Just because you put flashing lights and you put bigger prize pools, that doesn't translate to me caring. And ultimately, the fans caring is what allows these leagues to make money, because they sell the sponsorships. But if you just have no fans, eventually it's just going to go belly up. So I think FPS esports are just dead. Maybe Counter-Strike can survive, but I think Call of Duty eventually will go belly up. Overwatch kind of already went belly up. Like I said, and we're also oversaturated. I mean, these people are just, and maybe they're just trying to like cater to the whales, that people that spend a lot of money on these games and skins and things. But like I said, Halo didn't have skins back in the day. At least it's not as far as I can remember. Everybody was just in there for the love of the game. So that's kind of just my rant on why I just fell out of love with esports, why I just don't care at all anymore. And that's unfortunate, because some of my favorite things were sports, and the second favorite thing is, video games and sports. And so you combine them together, you get esports. But because of the kind of the elitist, pompous people on top, it just completely turned me off. So anyway, that's all I got. You have a good one.